Hello, once again. I feel like I just saw you. I'm still wearing the same shirt. I swear it's the next day. I'm just wearing the shirt again because I'm uploading these in real time. That's how it works, right? Anyway, this is once again Joseph Catherine here with Another Movies, and we're going to talk about the top 5 movie moments of 2014. So, these are going to be some of my favorite moments of the from movies this year. Keep in mind, once again, this is my personal list. It's my own personal opinion. I'd love to hear your own if you want to share somehow with me what your favorite moments were in movies from 2014. Um, but these are my own and my own opinions. Now, as you might know, for those of you that know me, I freaking love music. Okay? And music is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. So, obviously, there's going to be a lot of music on this list. You're just going to have to deal with it. Okay? Well, let's go. So, first one that I'm going to mention is this movie that Chris Rock did called Top 5. You'll hear a bit more about this movie. It got so overlooked because it came out at a really, really bad time. Um, but it was a phenomenal film. I love this movie. It's the scene is who's your top 5 from Top 5. But it's just in a year where we saw a huge division between the races. A movie like this should have raked in tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. But this film only grossed about 25 million. That's it. It's a damn shame. But anyway, this scene signifies what is so great about this film. It is a celebration, a true celebration of African American culture in this country. The primary talking point of this scene, rap music, absolutely falls into this culture. So it is only fitting that in a movie celebrating African American culture, that we get a scene where the main characters are talking about their favorite rap artists and the history of the genre. It is a great conversation involving a huge array of artists and a great scene of family. With Tracy Morgan and Jay Farrow, too, I might add. Also, the Tyler Perry insult of the scene is great. It's just this is one of simply just a huge amount of great moments in this film, which Chris Rock clearly dropped his heart and soul into. I'll be talking more about this film later, but in the meantime, just check it out. And also check out the scene. I have the YouTube posted in the blog if you're on my blog. If not, it's just called My Top 5 Clip. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube. It'll probably be the top result if you search that. Alright, number 4 on the list. This one will be a lot faster than the disappointments video, thank God. Alright, number 4 is the first roar from Godzilla. Now, there are a lot of problems with this movie, Godzilla. Like the fact that it takes, an hour and a half or something to see Godzilla for the first time? But when we finally witness the Alpha Predator in all its glory, it leads to one of the best moments of cinema this year. And that roar, it penetrated through the theater, making my jaw drop like nothing else. It is easily the best scene of this very flawed movie, and definitely worth another watch. Again, I have the video on the blog like I will everything else. Just search Godzilla 2014 First Roar on YouTube and it will pop up. And the best part is, there's no Aaron Taylor Johnson in this scene here to ruin everything. So you don't have to worry about it. It's great. Anyway, moving on to number 3, that's right, I could count. Guardians of the Galaxy, The Dance-Off. Just mentioned it in the scene makes me smile and chuckle. But Chris Pratt, man, just him being Chris Pratt. Need I say any more? There are a host of scenes I could have picked from this movie, and this really was a great movie. Personally, I really love the Hooked on a Feeling montage. But come on, the apex of the film, this single most tense moment. And how do we resolve it? Well, with a dance-off, obviously. I completely lost it the first time I saw this in the film, and the second time. Also, and turd blossom is absolutely a thing now. But all right, you know what? I want to have a quick aside here because I can't even begin to describe how hard it must have been to pull off that scene. I can't even imagine. We look at it and laugh now because it is hilarious and a beautiful scene. But what I mean, can you imagine what Chris Pratt must have been thinking when he read this in the script? I mean, how do you act a solo dance off and pull that off at the height of a movie without it completely crashing and burning? I can only think of a few other actors who would have pulled it off. And by the way, none of them would have looked anywhere near as good as Pratt while doing it. Yes, I think Chris Pratt is incredibly good looking. What of it? Better not be judging me in there. I see you judging me. Don't you do it. Anyway, number 2, the Skeleton Twins, the lip sync scene. Again, music. Yeah, I know. I like music. What can I say? This scene, honestly, is the reason why this list even exists at all this year. Because everything else on this list, I could have just mentioned in some other talking point on this film, but not this scene. A lip sync scene has been so overused in film at this point. You flip on any '80s film, and there has to be some corny lip sync scene involving the two leads. It's something that's been used time and time again in film. And at this point, you'd simply think there is no way anyone could pull it off and make the scene, fun. And then Bill Hader and Kristen Wiig look at the norm and laugh at it, and proceed to go on a wonderful return to the '80s music montage scenes of old, with an incredible lip sync scene of Starship's "Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now." Easily the best scene in the film, and the best single moment in film from 2014. The only reason it's not number 1 on this list is because the tension of the number 1 scene is not in this scene. It's merely a great single scene. It's just fun. That's all it is. Crazy, right? Well, the movie is great, but this scene definitely stands alone and above the rest. I'd still recommend checking out the movie Skeleton Twins, and I'll be talking about it later. Don't worry. But this scene, just watch it. Just go and find it. Just search the Skeleton Twins lip sync scene and watch it, and you'll agree with me that it is one of the best moments in film from 2014. But number 1, I bet you could guess this. This is going to be number 1 on basically every single one of my lists from 2014. Whiplash. Were you rushing or were you dragging? Can I honestly, if I could, I would just put the whole damn movie on this as the best movie scene from 2014. I'm not even kidding. It takes about 15 minutes for the film to get going, but it really starts with this scene. Starting with this scene where you're rushing or dragging, Whiplash just holds down the gas pedal and doesn't let up until the end credits. This scene is the first of many between Teller and Simmons, and we really get a good sight into the intimidation and fear Simmons instills on his students in this scene. This is the first time you've seen Whiplash at the top of one of my lists, and it certainly won't be the last. An incredible scene from an incredible movie. What's really scary, though, is that this isn't even my favorite moment of the film. It's just both A, the one I could find, and B, the one I could find without spoiling anything. And yet, it's still the best moment. It's still better than anything else on this list. That's just crazy. Just watch the clip, rushing or dragging, and feel the tension oozing out of it. But there you go. There you have it. Those are my favorite moments in film from 2014. I will give one honorable mention, and it's to Selma, and specifically Oprah Winfrey trying to register to vote in the movie Selma. This scene happens very early on, and it immediately sets the mood for one of the most harrowing and real films of 2014. You're going to hear me do that because I'm not going to take the time to edit these because I don't have that much time on my hands. Anyway, were it not for my love of music, the Oprah Winfrey scene probably would have made it to the top of my list. To the top of my list. Top 5 just barely edges it out, and it's because of the fact that I love music. But next up, we're going to get a little depressed and talk about the biggest disappointments in film from 2014. But I bet you can't imagine what films we're going to be talking about there. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I love you. See you next time. Deuces!